I'm Bobby,
I'm Nathan,
and I hope you're hungry.
because this could be a podcast.
I had a question as Brickhouse was playing Cole.
Yeah.
Can you look up the lyrics to Brickhouse and then find out the dimensions that create a brick house?
36, 24, 36.
Okay.
What a winning hand.
All right, I'm going to assume you're correct. It sounds about right.
Yeah. 36, 24, 36.
Okay.
A winning hand.
So
36, 24, 36.
36,
Oh, what
24.
a winning hand.
So
Yeah.
when I was in my freshman year of high school, when
Yeah.
we got a locker, my grandparents would come down for like the first week of school all the time. Like it was a thing. They
Like
were,
doing pop-ins or what?
No, they were doing rip and runs. Actually, is what they were doing. No, they would come down and they would just spend the week with us and everything. And I remember
Oh, they didn't go to the school.
no.
Okay,
no,
I thought
would
they were
just
like
come and
stopping by the school multiple times. And I'm like, well, that's fucking weird.
Drinking
No.
Ice House and, having a college experience.
They lived 5 hours away, so they would come in and visit. They're like last week of summer.
Yeah.
They're also farmers too, so it was kind of
Yeah.
a little bit of downtime for them.
Sure.
Anyway, so I come home from my first day of freshman high school, and then my grandpa asked me what my combination was for my
Yeah.
locker, and it must have been 36, 24, 36.
36?
And because he goes, oh, Brickhouse. And I'm 13, 12,
Yeah,
13 at the
yeah.
time. Like, I have no idea what the fuck
That's
this means.
That's awesome.
And I love, like, looking back after finding out what it is, that my grandpa, who was a farmer up in Minnesota, like, knew,
Yeah.
just like you,
Yeah.
the dimensions that would require to be made a brick house.
But that's also just kind of like ideal quote unquote body shape for a while. I don't know if maybe it was popularized by the Commodore's brick house.
My grandpa specifically said it, and it was etched in my brain. Oh,
yeah.
brick house.
Yeah, that's weird. I would never equate 36, 24, 36 with brick house. I like
Why
more,
wouldn't you? You just rattled it off. I asked you what it was.
I would say like more Baby Got Back,
I think you're getting lost in
No,
what
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah, I
here.
know. Well, I understand. Yes, it's very interesting that your grandfather was into the Commodores enough to have a reference to
That lady's
Brickhouse.
stacked. And
Then
that's a fact.
Ain't holding nothing back.
And again, we're not. I didn't bring it up to talk about the dimensions of women throughout
Yeah.
the decades.
No,
you know.
I'm just saying, like baby got back.
I meant to bring it up
Yeah.
because I think it's weird that
Yes.
or odd
Yeah.
that my rural
Yeah,
white grandfather farmer in a
Would-
town of
yeah.
maybe 5,000 people
Maybe he just really
rattled off.
really liked House Guest, starring Sinbad.
I doubt it. But hey, he must have
Yeah, I
really
mean,
liked.
Phil-
He
well,
must
Phil
have really
Hartman
liked
was
the,
in that one,
the
too.
Commodores. So
Yeah. No, baby got back. The line was 36, 24, 36. Only if she's 5'3", because you wouldn't have enough booty for him.
yeah, again, my grandpa didn't say baby got back. So
I mean, he needed a lot of booty, so.
You need a lot of booty. It's a whole thing.
so
No, that's
the
interesting.
more you know.
I'm sure there's other people who are way into the Commodores that shouldn't.
Oh, I think it
That
is.
or isn't common.
I think it's a very suburban. I mean, they weren't in the suburbs, but
Yeah.
the Commodores. It reached a lot of white people. We'll
Yeah.
say.
Also, Phil Hartman's character in House Guest was really into it as well.
Yeah, I think that's
A movie I
That's
saw.
life, or that's art imitating life, right there.
That's a movie I saw once in 1996, I think.
All right, so I got something for the podcast.
Okay.
Okay, I've been doing.
I hope it's potato chips.
It might get to potato chip territory.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't know yet. But so I recently finished watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And
How was it this time?
it was good. It was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I very much binged it, which I don't think I even did in the last times. I think I was normally waiting to watch it with my wife or something
Sure.
like that. And this I was able to edit to and just kind of
Yeah.
barrel through. But got sucked in. Definitely got sucked
Yeah.
in. I would say the season 4 finale? Whenever he blows up Gus. That's a tremendous finale. Spoiler alert, sorry.
Yeah.
For anyone that's
Yeah.
ever seen it.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I went on to old Vince Gilligan's, old Vincey Gill, which
Is that what you're calling him?
We call him that in this household. Vincey Gill. Went on to his old IMDb page, and I found this gem here. Let me pull it up here. So Vince Gilligan, if we go to, let's go to all. I didn't really do a good job of getting this put together as the presentation.
Okay.
Here it is. I was just looking for the wrong thing. Okay. So the metastases.
Okay.
Okay. You familiar with this at all?
No, metastasis. Metastasis.
There's an accente over it, but are you familiar? Have you heard of this at all?
No.
Okay,
I've
in
never heard of this
2014.
program.
So it is the Colombian version of Breaking Bad,
Oh, yeah.
of which he is the he's a producer
Sure, I'm
at
sure he's
least.
executive producer.
But
yeah.
I'm gonna play this for a little bit, okay?
Okay. All right.
Just for everybody.
Un hombre no man. But believe me, I am doing this all for you.
I'll play this over.
Yeah. No, I'm.
They can
I'm-
hear. They can hear. Oh,
But
you're
they can't. I'm
translating.
translating.
Just assuming most of our
Junior,
speak Spanish.
it's very good cholesterol. We're looking after our health. Chemistry is the study of chemicals.
Químicos. Señor Urrutia, ¿puede regresar a su puesto, por favor?
Go back to your seat.
He dragged that
Terminó?
chair.
Did you finish with 2 jobs?
¿Qué, profe? Baby, mira quién está
The
aquí.
student walks
Yeah.
up, takes a picture,
I
being a
can't-
real
I
dick
can't
about
believe
it.
Mr. White is washing Diego's car.
Mr. Blanco.
It's Mr. Blanco.
It is
Of
Mr.
course.
Blanco.
Sí, comprendió lo que le dije.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a Spanish version of
It's Colombian. It's Colombian version.
Well, Spanish. It's
I know, but it's
Sure,
it's
okay.
specifically Colombian. Okay.
Colombian. Okay.
A Colombian remake of the U.S. TV show Breaking Bad after he was diagnosed. Yada yada.
That's an interesting idea.
It landed. It went for 2 seasons.
Okay. Oh, that's
64 episodes, I think, is what it said.
so the entirety of Breaking Bad.
It
They're
went
like-
2 seasons, is what it said.
Yeah, but how many episodes was Breaking Bad? You can probably
I don't.
figure that out.
Telemundo does it a little
Yeah,
differently.
64 episodes over 2 seasons. I feel like that's
say?
at least 4 seasons.
Yeah, 62 episodes. They
62.
call it 2 seasons though.
I wonder how many episodes of the original Breaking Bad, Cole? Do we know?
Yeah, 2 seasons.
They're doing like 32 episodes a season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a
Yeah,
little
so
different
I
than
feel like it's got to be very close to the original number.
62 episodes.
There were 62 episodes of the original Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Okay. So then there's the Indian version of The American Office,
Yes.
where they're playing up all the Americanized things. So a question is that how many American TV shows have been remade, or what are the top American shows that have been remade across the world, Cole? That's the Google I have not searched, and the
Okay.
question that I wanted to pose to the podcast.
That's an interesting question. Gosh. I mean, because we know about all the British.
We do it
w-
with British
British
shows, for
shows.
sure. We bring
Right.
bring in. I think Ghost is the latest of them.
As far as
The
popular
one with
shows.
Sean William Scott that was on Fox, Welcome to Flatch.
Okay,
That
yeah,
was a British show
that was a British show.
that they
Okay.
brought over.
Oh,
Usually the ones that are good. I'm not defending Ghost. I haven't seen a second
yeah,
of that show.
no, I
but
haven't
it,
watched it.
it
at
looks
all.
a little bit better than everything else they have on CBS.
I remember everybody going saying, "Actually, this is good," and then figuring out that it was originally a British program. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
so yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, there's been so many other ones that just didn't translate.
There's a Russian version of Prison Break.
Okay,
That
did you
tracks.
enjoy Prison Break, Cole?
I never watched Prison Break.
Oh, that seems like a very Cole Gibbs show. I'm not gonna lie.
An Indian version of 24.
Okay, all right.
I'd be really interested to see. Do you know what that's called?
Hold on.
It's okay. We had
It's
a really
20. It's 24. India.
It's just 24 India. All right, that's a different. I don't think we're gonna find that on IMDb. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah.
A UK Law and Order, which makes sense.
Ooh, we reverse engineered Law and Order over to
I wonder how weird
England.
that'd be. Like, I'd be curious about, in the criminal justice system. There are, like the opening
In
fucking
the criminal
line.
justice system. That's-
Is there two?
This would be really bad. A Russian remake of How I Met Your Mother.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't like. You're saying that you think how I met your mother was good.
It was a nice fun show. Like, I'm not claiming that it's a CBS show, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Do you think Russia just would love the shit out of?
You would
bad
think they
CBS
would.
programming.
You'd think they would hate that.
Yeah.
There's a Chinese version of Friends called Planet Homebodies.
Ooh,
Home Buddies. I'm sorry.
Home Buddies.
Yeah.
That might be more
Oh, my-
interesting than 24 India. Although we'll keep the tab
Oh,
open.
it's that guy. I know. I've seen that
Wait,
guy.
what was it called? Planet Home,
Home
Buddies?
Buddies?
Oh my gosh. Planet.
Home Buddies.
Is Home Buddies one word or they do?
Yes.
Okay. Those sneaky Chinese.
Those sneaky Chinese.
Planet Home Buddies. Whoa. It's still going.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's
2013.
started. Oh, jeez.
It's an 11-year run for Planet Home Buddies.
Oh. No.
Follows the lives of 6 20 to 30-somethings, 3 guys and 3 girls, who, because of various circumstances, gather together in a large loft. The lead character, Jerry. I don't think Jerry's... Is Jerry...
I don't think that's a Chinese name,
No.
but who knows?
but they're... Okay, anyway.
This one I find funny just because it is an actual location. There is a Turkish version of the OC.
Are they in Orange County?
Wouldn't it just be generic, like, teenage drama?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that it? Like, isn't that all the OC is? Like, is there some... Having never watched a single episode of the OC, Cole, you tell me I'm wrong.
I'm going to ask you guys to pronounce this because I don't want to do it.
Medcezir.
Medcezir, yeah.
Medcezir.
I'm going to get as close. It's, it's Turkish.
I want to say that would be a soft C and not a hard C. But...
And then this one, I just love.
'Kay.
A Chinese version of Glee.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
My Youth High 8 Degrees.
Is that what the show is called?
Yes.
My Youth High 8 Degrees. Okay.
I feel maybe that's a little lost in translation.
Yeah, I could say. I'm guessing 8 degrees, just meaning like,
Wow.
is there 8 grades or something? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not familiar with the Chinese education system, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Is this a list of like the best shows, or is this just randomly?
Yeah, I mean,
listed?
like there's a Japanese Powerpuff Girls. I didn't say that one.
But are they like ranking these?
Yes, and
Oh.
the Breaking Bad one was number 10.
Was
Okay.
Number 10. Oh, so did you list these off in any kind of order already?
It's pretty much, yeah, it was all in order.
So who was number 1?
It was the not the OC one.
Oh.
Oh man, the OC one didn't win. Damn.
It was the Glee one.
The Glee
The
one.
Glee one. Wow.
I can imagine. I can see that translating
Fairly
well.
Yeah.
It's not like musical television shows have done extremely well here in the United States. Thanks, Cop Rock.
I like the explanation to the OC. Since there's no Orange County in Turkey,
There's got to be an OC
Oh, you tell me
equivalent.
there's not an Orange County
Yeah, come on.
in Turkey? Weird.
Where a bunch of rich, spoiled kids get
Yeah.
to live and go to school amongst like a
Yeah.
beautiful landscape. You're telling me that doesn't exist in Turkey?
and it was a young man from a poor neighborhood moves to a luxurious beach community.
Oh, was that the plot of the original OC?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get this. I never watched a single episode of the OC
that was great.
at all.
Cole watched it.
It-
You
Cole-
know me, I'm a Dawson's Creek man.
Yeah, I was gonna say you with
was-
your Dawson's Creek. That's not too far off.
Influenced me in a lot of indie music.
Ooh, what you say?
It was one of those launching pads for indie bands.
Oh,
if you could
was
get
it?
your song
On
on
the
the
OC.
OC, yeah,
Yeah.
then you can maybe.
It was a really coveted position to be the music director for that show.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
I
there's.
mean, Fan and Planum with a theme song.
Yeah.
Jason Schwartzman's
Schwartzman's
band.
Well, you're gonna get some of these names right eventually.
That's a mouth. That's a
That's
That's a
mouthful.
mouthful.
101.
Phantom Planet and Jason Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman's band.
Yep. Phantom
Right
Planet.
back where you started from.
I feel like wasn't he on an episode too?
No, he was not. I don't.
You're saying that was such definitive.
Wow.
I don't recall him being on it.
Why don't you do?
And you watched every single episode of the OC, right, Cole? Right, Cole?
I think so.
Oh man.
I mean, it's been a long
There's
time.
a lot of sadness to that.
There
Well,
is a
and
lot.
also I'm sure there's like a lot that just went right over your head as far as
I mean,
like
they
in
only
one
went
year.
4 seasons, so it was like a little bit easier, like a smaller time frame, where like other shows like that.
Yeah. That's really
All right, we're in season 16. I don't think I need to keep watching this.
Right. I completely agree.
All right, so that was a good exercise. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to go through that. So, does it say where the 24 India, where that ranked? On that list?
Was
Because this looks like the most from the trailer on mute,
Yeah.
looks the most like the show and probably translatable as far as tone of the show goes. Like,
Sure.
you could pick up 24, put it anywhere, and then have the show.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
of course.
number 7.
Number 7.
Number 7. That's I feel like that would translate very well across cultures. You know, I can't imagine it being that different. I mean, guy tries to stop bad guys for 24 hours.
Yeah. That can happen anywhere.
That's it.
Yeah.
Add in a
No.
appropriate amount of shaky cam and the beep, beep, beep.
Now, who's the propagandistic terrorist in this show? That would be interesting.
That's a good question. Well, if it's India, it's all Pakistan.
Yeah, right? I mean, like,
It's just
in
it's-
America, everyone was from Afghanistan. You know?
Yeah. Well, no, that was the thing that drove me nuts about 24. It's just like it was a constant whack-a-mole of who's the bad guy. Like over like the course of the season, they would go like 3 episodes and be like, okay, we got to stop this guy. He's the real bad guy.
Yeah.
And then they catch him, and then he's like, oh, actually, he was working for this bad guy. 3, 4, 5 episodes. Caught him. Actually, it's part of this vast web conspiracy that's being ran by this guy in this country. And so it was just like,
Who you've known this entire time.
Right, it's like, what
You
is-
got to remember that.
Yeah,
He
what
knew
is-
him the entire time.
I like, can you stop pulling the rug out from under me? Am I supposed to care about these Chinese businessmen or not? You tell me.
And again, there was a time and a place. I think it was probably peak television of broadcast television as far as like week to week watching.
Sure,
You
sure.
know, you can lump Lost in with that as well.
Yeah.
Like they did a great job of, you know, setting you up to make you need to watch next week
Right,
and cannot
right,
wait to watch next
right.
week. And we weren't really exposed to binging at that time.
Yeah.
You know,
that was-
I always remember buying the 24 DVD set.
Sure.
And you can just barrel through those. That was fun.
Yeah.
So you get a little lost. It's not as crazy, you know, watching 10 episodes in a row to understand that, like, oh, the guy they've been chasing. Because you're right. Like,
Yeah.
the story arc, the guy that they've been chasing, turns out he was working for this guy who has actually been working for this guy that you've been next to this entire time.
But
And
there's
now he's
10
gonna turn
episodes
on you.
between those two things.
What I hated was like you get to episode 13, they're like, "We're finally gonna get him." I'm like, "Well, there's at least
I know how to
11
count.
more episodes to go."
I know how to count.
But that being said, I do remember there was like a season where he like solved it early.
Oh, yeah?
And then there was like another thing that came up while they were celebrating or something
yeah?
to that effect. Like his daughter Alicia Cuthbert, correct?
Yes.
God damn.
Super hot, always getting kidnapped
Just kidnapped left and right.
Kidnapped,
His wife.
Real dumb. Real dumb.
Or ex-wife. Getting kidnapped left and right.
all the time. Yeah, he never taught him any kind of survival
Yeah.
instincts or, you know, seek a stranger if you're in danger.
Yeah.
Do you think Liam Neeson got like, you know, you've seen 24, right? Like, we're just gonna do that for a 3-movie arc here.
Right. Which in a movie, you know, again, you can get away with because you're not watching
Right.
episodic week to week. But going back to like watching Breaking Bad and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
week to week of watching or even stalled watching of Breaking Bad, you can get to a point where you're just like, okay, he's making bad decisions. Do I need to go back really? Like do I want to feel like shit right now, or you know what? Do I want to keep going through and maybe it will all work out in the end, and he'll finally be like, "You're right, I've done enough, and
Sure.
I'll just go off in the sunset."
One, I think Game of Thrones is the best example of that, where you like there's so much going on, such a vast universe. Like you don't remember any of the family
Yeah.
names. Like if you're watching week to week,
That's the beauty of the rewatch of Game
Yeah.
of Thrones is that almost
Yeah.
like the 4th time through, you're like, "Oh, I know who everyone's talking about, and I know,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they're northwest of this." You know, like that's a fun thing that unfolds with that show.
yeah, you hear
specifically.
Tywin Lannister talking about going back to the Riverlands. And I'm like, I know where that is on the
I
map
know.
now.
I'm on the map now. And that was like one of those shows where I actively watched the intro, the
Yeah.
theme song,
Yeah.
because it was like, okay, all right, where are we going? Where are we going this time?
Yeah.
You know, and just
Which
really lay things
was
out.
very smart of them to
Yeah.
do it that way.
Yeah,
But
and like
Clever
including
girl.
like going to the Twin Towers. I mean, like when they were going to the Twin Towers, like you know, they would
9/11?
yeah, when they went to the World Trade Center.
it was actually dragons that
Did
caused
they?
9/11.
Is this an allegory for 9/11? Was Game of Thrones an allegory?
It
for
was
9/11?
exactly an allegory for 9/11.
Holy shit! Wow, I guess I was today years old when I found that.
Yeah, the
out.
Targaryens represent
the bushes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. exactly.
And then the Lannisters are the old
the Lannisters.
Bin Ladens? or-
No, they're just old Wall Street
Oh,
money.
probably the Cheneys.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Cheneys.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dornish were Al Qaeda.
Yeah,
How's that hitting it
yeah.
a little too close on the nose there?
That's a bridge too far, Cole.
Well, not the Dorn, the Dothraki.
Oh, the Dornish were the southern part of the
Yeah,
Seven Kingdoms.
yeah. That's more Mexico because it was shot like it was Mexico.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Wow.
And canceled.
Yeah,
If only we could be big enough to get
No,
If
the
we
Dorns
didn't cancel
were-
last
they were
week for
just-
talking shit about Caitlin Clark, we're good. So,
hey, why you got to bring her up?
I didn't bring her.
Why
well,
you bringing old cupcakes up? No one's talked about her hardly at all today. We've been together all day, by the way.
and we don't have
So that Pedro Pascal is he's Dornish, right? Okay.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal is Dornish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're more like the French
I'm turning the page.
in
Is what I'm
that
trying to do.
situation.
No, that's
I was going to bring it right back.
no, that's what's her name's? What's the flowers, the roses? Gosh, the one who
The Martells.
the Martells. Thank you. It's been a minute since I've watched the show or read the books because I read all the books, boys. Okay.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you read them through your AirPods or?
Yeah. Hey, reading is reading. It doesn't matter. Okay. It activates the same parts of your brain whether you're reading it through the page or listening it through the ears.
I was going to let it go, but you lorded it over us like you're somehow better than us.
I-
That you have time
I'm
to listen
better
to all the Game of Thrones.
I listen to, and some of them are really, really fucking long, and there is a lot going on. The worst book was like the history.
Shows how much you concentrate on your day-to-day activities.
Oh, it's when I'm driving or when I'm setting up equipment, like for my job in video production. You know, when I'm setting things up, if I'm pushing stuff around, it's like, yeah, I can do that with my brain turned off. I can know how to set up a camera and a tripod without having to actively think about what I'm doing because I've done it
Okay.
30,000 times already. Yeah, no, there was a not good book. It was like the history of the Targaryens. And it was literally 300 pages of, yeah, this kid was born and he had a kind of a hook nose and he ruled for a little bit, but then it was like a horror, like it was not a good.
Did you read
read.
the Tales of Dunk and Egg, which HBO is making?
No, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Dunk and egg?
Aegon Targaryen and Duncan the Tall.
I thought you read all the books, man.
I think that was in the litany of the history of the Targaryens.
It was within that.
Yes, yes, it was. Yes, yeah. No, I do know what you're talking about. Egg. Yes, I do remember that now. I mean, it's an interesting history, but also, like, once again, this is problem with listening to it and not reading it is like, I need a fucking whole lineage of these people that I can reference to. Who the fuck are you talking about? Because get this, all of their names sound exactly the fucking same. And so trying to like, okay, whose kid is this? Who's this? Who's this?
Also
That's a
might
real
be
problem.
one of the best books, like best uses of turning a book into a television show.
Sure.
Because I do remember I started listening to
Yeah.
a Game of Thrones book, whatever the one it was. I don't fucking remember. But I got only a little bit in it, and I'm like, nope, I need something in front of me. I need something in front of me to like piece this together. Because
Sure.
otherwise, yeah, I can continue to listen to this.
Yeah.
I can continue. And maybe I'll pick it up as I go along.
Right.
But right now, you've thrown so many fastballs at me, and I'm not wearing
Sure.
a mitt. So
Sure.
this is
I think it's one of those rare exceptions where it's so much, and honestly, that most people would agree with. I think that it's better to watch the movie/television show than read the book because it's usually, the arc is the book is so much better than the movie. Well, yeah, of course it is because the writer had complete utter control over the words they put on the page as compared to fighting through a committee and budgets to make something on the screen with however much money they have for visual effects or whatever the fuck ever, right?
or just even general time constraints for narrative.
Or just like what your actors are. What actors are available right now, and are they good enough to portray this person that you put together? So, of course, the book's always better. So I always prefer to watch the movie/TV show before the book, so the arc is in a correct way. And that usually doesn't burn me that much. Sometimes it's like, okay, the person that was cast is nothing like the person in the book. Great example, Jack Reacher.
Okay, we're not talking about Jack Reacher.
I'm just
again. He's
saying-
on the board too.
No, Jack Reacher.
We talked about Jack Reacher.
He's like 6'5",
Everyone
like
knows.
a 300, 400-pound bull of a man.
Yeah, played by Tom Cruise.
Played by Tom Cruise. And it's like, well, this doesn't. So,
I knew you were going to bring up Jack Reacher
why is that?
because you've done it multiple times.
I've talked about Jack Reacher's on the board.
Jack Reacher's on the board.
Jack Reacher.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Sorry.
We haven't even talked about the new Amazon television show that's had 2 seasons through.
I know.
And is
I've been really proud of you up
pretty
until
good.
this point.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Cole, you liked Reacher, right?
Don't try to suck Cole into this. Don't try to suck Cole into this. Okay.
But yeah,
I understand what you're saying, and it's very
so,
true.
Yeah, so
and-
the idea of going books, but also I feel like with Game of Thrones specifically,
Mm-hmm.
having a grasp of the characters because there are 38 fucking million of them.
Yes.
Having that cast of characters and being able to latch on to, okay, that's that person.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot easier to do that
With that show.
with the
specifically.
show.
Yeah, and I think that's different than most shows, most books that are turned into shows
Yes.
and movies
Yeah.
or anything like that. Because it's beneficial. Like we said at the beginning, when it was rewatching it, 2, 3, 4 times, however many times
Yeah,
you've watched
yeah.
it, you get a sense, you get a lay of the land, you understand what people are talking about
Right.
because you've seen it before. You
Yeah.
have a familiarity with it. So, no, I think that's interesting. And also, I cannot wait for the Indian remake of Game of Thrones. That'll be good. So, was the Indian version of The Office on there at all, or was that just like a top 10 list?
It was just a top 10
Just a
list.
top
I
10.
thought the Pakistani one was better.
Is that what it was? Was
I
it?
don't know. I have no idea.
Because I do remember watching a trailer for it, and that's where it's like, oh, there is it a remake of the British Office? No, it's a remake of the American Office. They have all the same characters that the Office in America developed.
I want to say there was like 10 or 12 of those.
Of those?
Those that they made them across the world. I mean, from Japan to, India to,
That's
Middle
a little
Eastern.
less transferable, I guess, across the world, because an office is different in India than it is.
No, because America's culture has been embodied so much that the idea of people working in the office is translatable. That's
so a Japanese Apple office is.
it wouldn't be an Apple office; it'd be a small, shitty company that's on the verge of collapse, like that.
All right.
You know,
It's a
in a-
different
in-
tone.
in a
It's a
fa-
different tone for sure.
And I'm sure, but it's the same cast of characters of star-crossed lovers, the wacky, self-indulgent boss, and the insufferable nerd who everybody's annoyed by. The rest of the cast of characters, maybe that's a little bit more local flavor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Never watched the show.
You never watched The Office?
Never watched the Japanese or the Indian version.
Oh, okay.
Or the Pakistani. Or
But you've watched The Office.
I've watched The Office, the entirety of it. Yes.
Because this is an
Twice?
interesting thing. This is an interesting
3
thing
times?
where, we in this generation, in this day and age, we
Yeah.
get so caught up in generations, Generation X versus Y versus Z versus millennials.
Don't forget about the A's now. They're coming in.
Yeah. So we get
Alpha.
and this is what I really wanted the podcast to be about,
Generational divide.
generational divides. Okay. No.
Yeah.
I've been recently going through Bill Simmons' podcast, his interview podcast that he doesn't do anymore, which is fine. But he's a good interviewer. I enjoy him as an interviewer.
Sure.
He's got a backlog of stuff. It seemed like he just stopped doing it sometime around 2022, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've been going backlog listening to old episodes and stuff of him. And it's interesting how often he brings up that he's never watched The Office whatsoever.
That's a weird badge.
And he talks to other people like I can't remember the exact celebrity that he was talking to about this because there's multiple ones, but
John
that-
Krasinski.
it was John Krasinski. He was talking. He's like, I've never watched.
I've
This
never
show.
watched the show
I've never
that
watched
you're
that
on."
show, The Office. Like, and
Yeah.
I don't understand why people like it. It just seemed like a weird generational divide, and it's not like we're he's clearly in a different generation than us.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
by probably
yeah.
10, 12 years or something like that. But that it was completely not on the radar at all to watch, even as a comedy fan. Like, I feel that there's a generational divide. It's a one weird thing that we have in
Yeah.
our generation because we're technically millennials. At
Yes.
least I.
Technically are.
You're a
I
millennial
am
as well?
technically a millennial.
Right. Cole, are you technically a millennial?
Yeah.
What's the age frame?
Yeah,
know,
he's
that's a you
He's
question.
technically a millennial.
I think you
believe
are.
so.
Yeah, I want to say like the Gen Z's like 25, 26, 27 maybe.
But retroactively looking back, is The Office like our millennial show? Is that our Friends? How people, because his generation revered Friends in a way that's different than how like I revered it. I mean, I watched it, but it didn't like speak to me as a person. Like finally, I'm represented.
Except for
on
they're
television.
on the air at the same time. That's the crazy thing.
Well, not in the beginning of Friends. What are you talking about?
Well, Friends was in, what, 95 when it went on air?
Yeah, The
So-
Office was like 2004 or 5.
2005.
Yeah.
Fall of 2005.
Yeah,
So,
so
I mean-
not the same. Yes, they were on probably. There was an overlap, but
there's
towards
some
the
overlap.
end of Friends and the
Yeah.
beginning of The Office. And the
Right.
first season of The Office was not nearly as successful as the totality of The Office.
It was appointment viewing for me myself.
It was for me as well. I thoroughly loved the shit out of the first season of The Office, and I think it's
really
great.
good.
And but I feel like it's one of those shows, and I didn't realize it until listening to all these interviews, and maybe it's just him bringing it up all the time. But it's like, oh, is this our thing? And because it does
Yeah.
translate to other generations, younger generations, back
Yeah.
to these damn generation kids.
All these Gen Z kids.
All these, but they seem to like Friends, and they seem to like The Office. They seem to like these generational, like I guess generational shows that to define us. I don't know what the exact verbiage would be.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, is it so much more like, accessible for younger people than it is for older people? I mean, is there some old lady right now that finally decided to start watching Friends at the age of 80 and saying, "Oh, I get this now"? I mean, is that a thing? I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, I remember as a child, being forced to, not being forced, but you didn't have options. You watched what was on.
Yes.
So I watched way too much Golden Girls. None of it really applied to my daily life, not being a elderly woman.
Elderly
in Florida.
woman living in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could relate on some levels, having been a child that lived in Florida. A lot of those things overlap.
Yeah.
But the.
See, I preferred Empty Nest. That was the spinoff of the Golden Girls. That was my preferred show.
And I might have watched. It didn't register that it was not just the Golden Girls. Who was in the spinoff? Who was?
It was like a doctor. I'm trying to remember.
None of the original characters. of the Golden
No,
Girls?
like I want to say Estelle popped up maybe a couple of times, but he was a character that showed up like a handful of times.
Okay.
I have no idea why the fuck I know why the fuck I watched the show. I watched the show because there's nothing else on
Boobs.
television. No, there was absolutely nothing else on television. So I'm watching fucking Empty Nest, and it was not good.
It's the same reason. But like back to my point though, is like I'm watching this show. I am enjoying it because sure, it's the only thing
Yeah.
on, and it's a funny show.
And Blanche is a real card.
She's a real. But it wasn't made for me. This is
Sure,
clearly made
sure.
for other people. This
Yeah.
is their thing that they can relate to. That's for them.
Yeah.
Not me. Doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. And when
Right.
in a world where you're forced to watch whatever's on, you're gonna watch it.
You're gonna watch whatever because what am I gonna
Yeah.
be alone with my thoughts? Jesus.
And maybe, now I'm talking out and thinking about it, The Office really, it took off at least around the time that Netflix getting your own DVD,
Sure.
the beginnings of streaming, the beginnings of all that stuff,
Right.
of like, I guess, individualized programming kind of kicked off.
yeah,
It wasn't really, because Friends became appointment viewing for people. Like
Yes.
you're gonna,
Yeah.
you're gonna watch that show because that's the only show that's on.
Sure.
Because no one else is gonna go up against it. You don't have any other
Right.
competition, basically.
Yeah.
So The Office might have been one of those shows that, although it was appointment viewing to some,
Yes.
it wasn't. There was other options out there for people, and it just gets lost in the fray.
See, and I feel like Friends. I think I want to say I've seen 1,000 more Friends box set DVDs than I have of The Office. I don't think like I've seen much more of people owning all the seasons of Friends than I
Okay.
did with The Office. I guess I don't know.
Well, yeah, but that makes sense, though. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
it's the same way. Like people would like. There's probably more 24 DVD
24
box sets
box sets.
out there than The Office as well, because you bought it and you're like, well, I wanted to watch. I didn't see this episode, and they never replay it.
Sure.
So
You gotta wait for the rerun, man.
dude, I there was many late night runs to Walmart. We're like, okay, we just got done. We were big into 24 for a few years.
Define we.
Me and my buddies and stuff,
'Kay.
my
All right.
roommates and
All right.
everything. We would get into 24 quite a bit.
Sure.
But again, it was the box sets where you would go and you would get done because then you could just burn through them
Yeah.
and you didn't have to wait a week. But I love 24. I don't really like defending it because it has its holes.
You got problems with torture? Or you're talking about
No,
just
no,
plot-
nothing with the
plot?
content.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I did the first season of 24. I remember that was that was a freshman year of
Mm-hmm.
college for me, and I would tape that off because I would
Mm-hmm.
usually be at play practice at night. So
One of those guys.
yeah, I was one of those guys where it's like I spent 2 to 3 hours a night.
You sure about
rehearsing.
that?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. So I would tape off pretty much all of Fox's like Sunday block. I remember doing that quite a bit.
Oh, illegal.
No, it's with my VHS recorder, which has been allowed to record and then play it back.
Sure, dude.
I'm just letting you know. This was like an important like court ruling that
State the case.
I can't. I don't have. Well,
Get in the car.
I am a good lawyer. Case law is something that
No.
I don't have readily available. I'd have to look it up, and
You need to.
I'd let you know.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a
That's
real
for
thing.
next week then.
Yeah, it's totally illegal for you to use a VCR and record programming off the television.
Good luck, shithead.
Not duplicating a rental VHS.
It's the warnings part.
That wasn't part of it.
Anyway, this is not interesting. But go. What you taping Fox? on
Yeah,
a Sunday
no,
night,
so,
yes.
but yeah, so that was my my experience with 24, and I like was in and out of it. Honestly, by the second season hit, I was kind of done with it.
Mm-hmm.
I then when Hulu started up, I was like, oh hey, new season of 24. It's time to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I was like, oh what. I don't like this. This is they keep moving the goalpost. I really don't like this. I'm trying to get invested, and I can't be invested if they move the goalpost. Anyways, as far as generational television programs, I mean, I think it really is just a one way. I think it's younger people are able to appreciate older stuff while older people have a hard time understanding and being in sync with newer programming, unless it's something that reflects something old like Blue Bloods or something like that.
That's a fair point. I see what you're saying. I do think there is a lot though that goes into the landscape of viewing changed.
Sure.
Where there was more options, so you could nostalgically go back and watch something on your own.
Yeah, right.
And then whatever you thought about whatever TV shows on. I know, like when How I Met Your Mother was on. I'm like, I'm not watching this show. I'm happy Jason Segel's getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
I'm happy the girl from American Pie that stuck a flute up her pussy is getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
Doogie Howser, happy. I'm very happy for you guys.
Yes.
And it just keeps going. Like, but it's not for me. And it just kept going.
Yeah.
And then when Big Bang Theory came out, I was like, this is absolutely not
for
me.
you. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what's happening?
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's for different people. But I did the same thing though that I'm speculating other people did. Is like I just started watching The Office again. I would just start The Office over again. I've probably seen the Office probably 10 times through, like the entirety of the show.
But that's more like that's your casual comfort background noise,
Right, but that's
than anything else.
yeah, but I can think that's what maybe other generations did without actually knowing that they're doing that with other stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But like nostalgically, like looking at this 24 India thing,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, yeah, I could get back into it. I could.
It's
give
got
it a shot.
subtitles then,
It's got
Bobby.
8.1 out of 10. That's pretty damn good.
I mean, I've seen this guy. He's a good actor, whatever that guy's name is, and sure.
Because recently, WrestleMania was this past weekend.
Yes, it was.
And I got back into the hoopla. I haven't watched wrestling. I have not watched a wrestling match probably in 15 years. Maybe
really?
a Royal Rumble here and there.
Yeah.
Like I remember. Oh yeah, the Royal Rumble's on. Let's see if I can pirate it real quick. And if I can't do it readily, very quickly, then I'm like,
you just
I'm
give up.
fine. And that's just it. But it's a nice. It's very much like 24. Whereas I see it, I'm like, I'll give it a shot.
That's got a good feel to it, huh?
Yeah, so this past weekend's WrestleMania was very entertaining. It was very good. It was.
Yeah.
I didn't watch both nights. I only watched the Sunday main event.
See, hold on. I was kind of curious about this because honestly, my only interaction with the WWE is here, whatever this is, and then also just on Reddit. I mean, so it's like, when did Royal Rumble was it WrestleMania become a 2-night excursion?
This is the first
The
time.
last couple years.
Oh, really? Yeah. See what I know.
You don't know. Hey, Cole, your best friend who's really, really super duper into wrestling and was your wrestling Sherpa, did he have any like important thoughts on the WrestleMania this year?
I did not talk to him.
Oh man, you were supposed to. He's supposed to be our guru of wrestling, and you didn't even. And I don't want to actually talk to this man, like ever.
He lives in upstate New York, so haven't talked to him in a while.
That's a real wrestling country, if you ask me.
That is.
He lives close to where
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yes.
Hacksaw or Hackshaw? Because they're two different guys.
Hacksaw.
Oh.
Oh,
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
yeah. So for I don't know, wrestling.
Well, here's the crazy thing. They sold out the Philadelphia Eagles stadium 2 nights in a row. It was 72,000 people.
72. This was in an NFL stadium,
Yes.
and
Packed.
it sold out.
2 nights in a row.
That's
And then
fucking
they
insane.
also, if I remember correctly, Cole, they held Monday Night Raw in Philadelphia.
Yes, they did.
As well.
in a different venue,
I
though.
think a different venue, but it's open air.
Yeah.
There's no dome in Philadelphia.
No.
So it's open air.
It was cold.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah. They said it was like 49 degrees.
That's insane.
And there was 72,000 people.
72,000 people
Both nights.
watching WrestleMania live.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the craziest thing. What were tickets going for? Do you any
Oh,
idea?
I mean,
I mean, how much? What if you're selling 72,000 tickets? That had to be.
let's just say it was successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made their money. But again, like you're talking, I mean, have you been in an NFL stadium?
No, I've never been to an NFL stadium.
So
Never.
There's certain stadiums are set up, the new stadiums are set up to kind of like there's not really a bad seat
Yeah,
because
right.
of the Titantron,
Yeah.
and if they have it designed well.
Yes.
I went up to the Minnesota Vikings US Bank Stadium a couple times in the last year. And the last time we were there, we just bought last minute nosebleed seats. And again, we were far away from the action, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
sure.
I've been in worse like college stadiums and stuff where you're just kind of
Yeah.
stuck in one end and
Hopefully the ball comes your way.
hopefully the ball comes your way.
Yeah.
But with the Titantron there, you can see everything. Dallas
Yeah.
is the same thing. I can only imagine what those people at the Philadelphia Eagles stadium in the way up because like they had it sold to the brim
Ugh.
with no Titantron, no visible Titantron
Oh, is
that
there-
I could
is-
see.
No, there was one.
I mean,
There was a big thing hanging over the ring.
oh, there was hanging over the ring.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
I was kind of wondering, like,
How?
if it had blocked people's like sight of the actual ring itself, but
How could they get it to hang over? Okay, anyway, we're not.
Cables? Like rope? Like just a lot of rope?
I mean, the WWE doesn't have any bad history with things falling from the sky during major events and causing problems. Whatever.
Oh man.
And let's just leave it up to the elements. I didn't remember seeing anything like that, but
I don't know.
it's impressive if you can sell to the brim and then get people to stick around and watch
That's crazy. I enjoy this. This is kind of a new phenomenon.
professional wrestling.
Well, no. Just like taking events. There's been the University of Nebraska, Lincoln. They played a volleyball match outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's been a basketball
Parking
game.
lot, or was this
No. Like in
Dunkin' Donuts,
what's
or-
this? Whatever the stadium is in Nebraska. I'm trying
they
to remember.
played an outdoor volleyball
Yes.
game in the football stadium?
Yes. Iowa did it like the week before.
the girls' basketball team did it,
The girls
Yeah.
basketball team
and then
did it.
wrestling's done it for a few years.
Wrestling's done it.
I know hockey's done it with at Yankee Stadium and stuff. Yeah.
So I think this is an interesting phenomenon, and
But
really taking it to the masses.
the
Come on.
girls, the women's
I think it was
volleyball.
maybe it was basketball. If I could find, correct me.
I mean,
Cole.
the first I ever heard was wrestling, and then
Yeah,
they did girls at Kinnick this year
Maybe,
for Iowa.
maybe it was basketball for both.
Because that makes sense.
No, because it was Iowa women's basketball did it, and then the Nebraska women's volleyball, I think, is on a tear as well. So I think they were like the highest, like the most amount of people watching women's sports or something like that. I remember that was like the headline or whatever.
I was just joking last week when we only talk about women's sports.
But
that was just a joke.
I'm saying I like this idea of like changing venues, putting things in interesting venues, and making that part of the event. I think I like that idea, and kind of changes people's perception of everything. Whether or not professional wrestling is the appropriate thing.
Well, professional wrestling's been doing it for a long time.
They've been doing it since the 80s.
Yeah.
In NFL stadiums?
I don't know about NFL stadiums, but they had outdoor events for sure.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. I'm saying like an NFL stadium, which is nuts.
They've been doing it in NFL stadiums for
They've been doing it in
while now.
really.
Yeah. I mean,
See,
the first WrestleMania, I want to say Are you looking this one up, or do you?
Yeah,
know
I
you
got
did?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I can tag team it here.
Yeah.
Get it? It's a wrestling thing. But I mean, because the first WrestleMania, I want to say was in California.
First WrestleMania was in Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
Okay, that was inside.
Look at the big brains on Brett over here. Yeah. Wait, hold on. I can do this.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man, I'm getting so good at this. Hold on.
You're getting.
Sure about that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
The WrestleMania 9 was in Caesar Palace outside.
Okay.
Okay. No, see, that's also not an NFL stadium.
You tell us Al Michaels.
Al Michaels, he got hit on the head, and he's pretty sure that the parking lot of Caesar's Palace is an NFL stadium.
Team's just running late. Okay. So anyway. While he's looking this up, so we stayed on a wrestling.
Oh yeah,
kick.
you went on a whole wrestling kick.
Yeah, and we watched the Iron Claw.
How depressing was that?
Okay, first off,
I haven't
movie.
watched it. I haven't watched it yet.
Good movie. Worth it. I would say we rented it. I wasn't disappointed in it. I had expectations
Sure.
of this movie. We all know how expectations in movies can collide,
really-
especially in my.
And restaurants. You know.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you want to keep that bar low.
You wanna
More
keep that-
wrestling stuff. All right. So we watched it. It's very good. I won't give any spoilers away, although you can read the Wikipedia page, and that'll do
about
it.
the real story,
Yeah.
and it's worse than you think,
Oh, well,
and it's worse than what was portrayed.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have enough time, honestly. Like, it's a 2-hour movie. It's a 2-hour and some change movie.
Yeah.
They do a nice job of setting everybody up and like relaying all the, here's the backstory of the dad. Here's our connection as a family and brothers. And now the rest of the movie is letting you know the horrible things that happen to these people.
Horrible
right.
things.
And I believe they were cursed, clearly. But there was one thing that pissed me off in the movie, and I told Cole this earlier. I didn't tell
Okay.
you, okay? But the youngest kid is
Okay.
into music, okay? And we're talking late 70s, early 80s,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
And so they go and they pick him up at band practice, and they're jamming out in the garage, like you did back in the day.
Yeah.
Garage door open, just rocking and rolling.
Kids being kids.
They pull up in their beat up truck. It's been already established in this amount of time that they're, money's tight
They're not wealthy.
and they're not wealthy.
Early days of wrestling, not a lot of money.
Yeah. This
Thanks,
kid's playing
Vince McMahon.
like a $5,000 Gibson acoustic guitar. And I couldn't see an electric guitar in the frame, in the scene.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
they pull up. It's quick. There might have been a guitar player off on the side, but it's full on electric guitar coming out of this acoustic guitar that's also very expensive. And it's like, well, sell this and, live for 6 months,
But is that like today's prices, or was that back then prices?
Even back then prices.
Because
Yeah.
my knowledge of the inventory of what's a hot seller for guitars is not something I know.
Later on in the movie, he's playing another guitar, and I'm like, that's the guitar you would be playing. It's like the kind of the Kmart box
Shitty,
guitar.
yeah.
And it's after some stuff's happened to him. Spoiler. But I'm like, that's more of a believable guitar. But anyway, then the next thing that happened, and this was just the part of the movie. And again, good movie. Recommend it. You should watch it.
Yeah.
within that same time frame, this late 70s, early 80s, this kid he's got a show that they're going to go play at the college campus. Like his band is
band's gonna play.
The band's got a show at some house party.
Kids putting on a show.
And so I'm not giving too much away here by saying the mom won't let him go play the show because he's too young. All right,
Sure.
too young.
How young is he?
17 is implied. Okay.
Then, I can see that being a little too
All
young.
right. And his brothers are like, "Oh no, we'll take him. It's fine." And then mom says no, and it's like, "All right, mom says no. All right." And then they sneak out. Classic trope.
Yeah.
They all sneak
Kids
out.
being kids.
They push the truck down the road, and then they hop in, and they go off to this party, and they're all having a rager. You know,
Yeah.
they're having a fun time. And this kid's set up. He's playing in his band with his $5,000 guitar. And so he starts playing this song. They're a cover band, right?
Yeah.
We've been established. Here's the garage band, cover band. They're jamming out the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers in the car on the way home, from the garage band practice.
Sure.
We're establishing the timeline.
Yeah.
Like what the music is. We're talking Foghat, Foreigner.
Okay.
Let's,
yes. White? No, that's a little early for Whitesnake.
a little early for Whitesnake, early for Motley Crue,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's early
yeah.
for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, not hair, but we're not full hair.
We're not full hair mill yet. We're like good,
Yeah.
like maybe someone's playing Stairway.
Yeah.
A guy across county.
Ted Nugent,
Yeah, sure.
George Thorogood and the Destroyers, that kind of shit.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So they start playing this song at this house party. And it's like, is this a cover? Like,
What is this?
what is this? Is this supposed to be an original song? And I got almost as high as you did there on that one. And it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the time the time frame. It's like it sounds contemporary. It sounds like a contemporary song. And it's a good song. It's a good song, but it's also like, wait, is this like I was just going? I was blowing my mind. I'm like
going through
wait,
the Rolodex of what the fuck this song is.
This isn't a familiar song.
Yeah.
If it's an original song, he's like way ahead of the time, like way ahead of the time. And then I was just like, it was racking my brain. So then, of course, I do get on and find this out. And no, it was a song specifically written for the movie in 2023 by an artist named Little Scream, born in Iowa, found out.
Oh, yeah.
But lives
Iowa
now.
gets it done, guys. Iowa gets it done.
She is.
Iowa gets it done.
She has followed in the path of other famous people from Iowa, quickly
Leaving?
leaving Iowa to moved. She moved to Canada and only considers herself Canadian from this point.
Well, then, you know what? I'm taking back all the clapping.
Taking back all the class. That's what I was trying to warn you.
Fuck you.
And
Fuck you.
and again, I'm prefacing. It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
This has no place in the movie for
Just
this
completely-
contemporary song
Yeah.
made in 2023. That's why it seems like Jesus, if this is really the case, he really should pursue music. He is
Yeah.
clearly ahead of the game.
Streets ahead.
Streets ahead, exactly.
That's ridiculous. And that's something like that, you know what? I'm telling you right now, that's 100% like studio or producer meddling of saying, okay, we should also like, since we're going to play a song, we should like make a song, but it should be like something that would be really good and might be able to, get a lot of airplay today. So that's like that's 1,000%.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Some kind of bullshit producer.
Because also
horseshit.
the other thing that they did from my sleuthing that I was able to figure out. I'm
So
not as
that's
good as you.
That's my job.
I didn't want to spoil it for you though.
Okay.
I didn't want to I'll give you this as a a mission. I'll hire you. You know, but they didn't release
If
it
I choose
until
to accept it.
that's the shittiest Mission Impossible. That might be something. An internet mission impossible.
Shitty internet sleuth impossible. Ugh.
Here's your mission should you choose to open your laptop.
To Google enough.
It's a shitty trailer we could make. We can make a trailer in a world where you can Google anything, but you don't find anything.
Who do you turn to trust?
They did not release this song until after the movie was released and everything. So they were waiting for people to kind of organically find it and be like, "Oh, what is?" Do what I did,
Yeah.
because I haven't looked on like Apple Music or anything like that. If it's released or anything like that, I'm sure it is. But there was
Sure.
it was one of those things where, again, not shitting on the song. Song's good.
Yeah.
Movie's good.
Just incongruent.
Clearly a marketing ploy or a ploy within the studio
Yes.
to
Yeah.
make this We're gonna make some more money on top of this.
Right. It'll be great. No, we can see. I could see this thing charting. Well, we need. Well, he would say.
And here's the thing, though, too. In this, again, this song should be popular.
Yeah.
It's a good song. It should actually, more so than a lot of the songs that are popular, quote unquote. This is a good song.
Yeah.
So, and it's got a, a tone to it. It's I want to live this way. I want to feel this way forever, I believe is what the song's called.
Okay.
By Little Scream. Good song. It should be a good song.
Was that
Or it should
even
be a popular
Was
song.
it even nominated for best song at the Oscars, Cole?
No, it was not.
Yeah, they got in too late. The
Oh,
thing
it's
was
too late. I see. I
That-
thought it was about the same time. I thought it was just like a big snub that Iron Claw didn't get any love from the Oscars.
No,
Or
I
was
thought
it?
it was because it was released in like mid-December.
Yeah, so that's before 2024. So that's the cutoff.
Yeah, but I always thought like it's you don't release. you don't
They
get-
basically had the votes in before as Iron Claw premiered.
yeah.
Oh, they didn't like take
when
it.
you're
wasn't-
in
it
the
wasn't-
industry, you
it
know
wasn't-
this
They
stuff.
didn't have it at Cannes or anything
Con?
like cons. Con. It says Cannes, guys.
It's con.
Or I don't know, one of the other big Tribeca Film Festival or any shit like that.
You sure about that?
Yeah. Sundance. They didn't send it to Sundance because
Yeah.
it feels like a Sundance movie, if you ask me.
It did not get nominated. I don't think it was snubbed, but because it was very well done.
Said it was in a dead zone
Yeah.
of months after the end of eligibility.
Yeah.
So
Hollywood shuts down in December, man. They're
No,
not-
there's been a number of like bullshit
unless you're Clint Eastwood. I think Clint
bullshit
Eastwood is
Oscar
the-
bait movies that have like premieres at big festivals and then but aren't like widely
they were
released.
premiered in Toronto
Yeah.
and Venice.
Yeah, and then like have a like release date of like December 30th, December 31st, or Christmas Day, and are Oscar bait bullshit movies that are eligible. I feel like maybe just Oppenheimer was just too much of a steamroller, maybe that everybody was actually getting shit in. I don't know.
No, we need to really bring up not Poor Things, but what was the movie I had to watch? Oy vey.
Zone of interest.
No, that was a movie you
Hey,
had to
that's
watch.
that's on something right now. I'm trying to remember if that's on Hulu or Netflix or Amazon.
I'm past that. So
I need to go. I'm gonna go watch it because I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. Get this, it was nominated for an Oscar, so
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna watch it.
Hold on, I'm going to pull up my list here because I'll tell you another movie that was
Sliding
nominated.
Doors. It wasn't
I've
Sliding Doors.
scrolled past
Past Lives.
Past
Lives was the.
Past Lives was also nominated.
I've
and
scrolled past Poor Things so many times since it's come out.
Oh, you should watch it. You honestly, like, for you, that's very much like go and chill, and
Hulu and chill.
Hulu and chill and watch it because get yourself a nice glass of wine. You know,
Nice ham steak.
a
get yourself-
razor.
No, it's not depressing.
What? No, I'm just
It's not
see which
depressing.
direction he goes. I don't know.
Am
A
I gonna
bottle of
kill
pills?
myself or am I gonna eat this delicious ham steak? You
ham
tell
steak?
me, fate.
And a nice Merlot.
I'm just saying.
Just write your suicide letter.
But first, I'm gonna
make it-
watch Poor Things.
Just make an evening of it.
Yeah, with a
I
ham
always
steak.
said I'd have baked beans before I died, so
He didn't even finish his can of Vandecamps. Oh my gosh! Oh, it's such a tragedy. He didn't finish the entire can of Bush's baked beans, though. That's good for him, though.
nice scallops, ham steak, and baked beans. With
This
a
is
nice
the-
suicide
This
note.
is the worst last meal I've ever heard of. Oh, I love that though. Scallops?
Yeah, why not?
You like scallops?
What would your last meal be? What is your last meal? Outside of
Baked
scallops
beans,
and
ham, steak, and scallops.
And scallops, yeah.
Are you
That-
putting
you
it-
don't-
Maybe
you
a
don't?
nice meatloaf. I don't know.
Okay.
Are you doing hollandaise sauce on those scallops or what?
No.
No, just butter. All right, all right, all right.
Are you killing yourself after this, or are you being murdered?
No, the ham steak's not thawed out of my freezer right now, so
Gotcha. Well, I'm just wondering because, like,
we got at least a day
if
or
you're
two.
killing yourself after it,
jeez.
you might just like accidentally fall asleep because you're too full. But if you're being murdered,
I'm just like waiting for like me to kill myself, and I just accidentally pause it right on her going to town on some dude in the middle of the movie. It's like Cole's got baked beans all over his shirt. Emma Stone is nude on the television.
And he's dead.
I told you we shouldn't have showed her naked. I told you. It's leading to murders. Perfectly fine white boys.
It's like Cole had 24 India pulled up, and he was eating ham steak, and then something must have happened in 24 India.
I don't know.
He was in a dark place.
He was in a dark place.
What's your last meal, Nathan?
Oh gosh. I mean, honestly,
We've clearly put a lot of thought into this. So
I have not. Probably like a really good steak, of course. You know, I had some fantastic because I went to Japan. That's
Horse is the answer.
No,
I'm gonna get a dinger for every time. You can say ding.
No, I just say like I mean I enjoy when
I was in New York,
like a nice fatty piece of steak, maybe some shrimp scampi.
I'll allow it.
Some jambalaya.
Probably not jambalaya. I don't know.
How many courses you going? You going multiple courses? Here in the situation too, are you committing suicide or are you getting murdered?
I'm getting murdered.
Okay.
I mean, but also that's weird that I'm planning my meal that I'm eating before I'm getting murdered.
Well, I don't know why. You can still have a last meal even if you're planning.
I guess are you considering execution murder? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's murder, right?
Yeah,
or
I
is it
think
a different?
It's sanctioned murder,
Yeah.
which is
You have cancer, and you know it's going to be probably your last night.
Nice.
yeah, that's good. I don't. Well, that's going to complicate things because of like people's like strength to eat and their body shutting down. That's
No, you have a superhero.
Let's say it's not
This
affecting
is
you.
fun. This is
and-
fun cancer last night. This
a
is
fun cancer.
fun
last
cancer
night.
last night. This is not
Yeah,
sad.
I'd say some kind of steak, maybe like a shrimp scampi. I enjoy like a shrimp scampi. I really do.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm going to go green Jello
Green Jello. I mean,
For him or for you?
for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then just like an entire can of whipped cream.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't know. I have not put that much thought into this. I really have.
Well, that's what the podcast is
I know.
for.
I'm thinking about it right now. I like steak.
Yeah.
I like French fries. Like a good French fry. You know, not all French fries are created.
I think
equal.
I'd go with mashed potatoes
Yeah.
as my last potato.
See, I feel like it's getting too heavy enough as it is with the steak. So
Okay.
I just want to make a movie called The Last Potato.
in a world where the
Sad movie
potatoes
about
are
a guy who kills himself and his last meal.
it's just a shitty baked potato
Yeah.
because it reminds him of his mother. Oh my god.
Okay, so steak, shrimp scampi,
Yeah.
fries.
Fries, I guess.
Good fries.
Yeah, like a nice shoestring. You know,
Okay.
it's a nice shoestring fry.
Okay.
Nothing, but not too thin, but not too thick, not too potatoey. You know, that's my thing.
I hate when potatoes become too potatoey.
Well, when it becomes like I'm eating a slice of a potato instead of a French fry, you know,
This is the work of a lunatic.
All right.
you know, for steak fries, off the menu.
I know.
I don't dig on that. I really don't. Gosh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Dessert? What are you going? I mean, I feel that's pretty good. You got two entrees there.
Strawberry upside down cake, I guess, or like Jello cake. I don't know.
Strawberry upside.
Cheesecake or a blizzard.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking like some. Yeah,
That was supposed to be
like-
funny, the blizzard part of it.
like
A blizzard's a completely legitimate.
Well, no, you got to put a ridiculous filling in there. Maybe a Heath bar. I don't know. All right, that's not quite it. It's not nerds because that's too short of a word. It needs to be a longer word to be funny.
Well, this is where I go back to. This is all execution based. Like,
Yeah, not cancer, not suicide.
okay.
Okay.
So this is all. So you're
You went on a killing spree at the college you work at, and they're putting you on death row.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so this is more or less like you trying to fuck with the authorities as well.
Oh,
You're adding that into it.
oh,
Because I think a blizzard's a perfectly fine.
it's
no,
it's
no,
a
no.
delicious treat.
Yeah.
You
no,
know?
I was just talking about the joke we were making right now. That's all.
About you murdering a bunch of people.
I don't murder people.
Well, is that the joke?
I want
the-
I want
no.
a bunch of airheads.
I want to have 3,800 airheads compressed into a ball that I'm going to slowly gnaw at for the next 6 weeks.
I wonder if there's a time limit on the Last Supper.
Well, yeah, it's midnight because they got to get you hooked up, right?
But when does it start? Are there parameters, Cole? Can you look up parameters for the like a Last Supper? Like, is it
Like, when do they get it started?
like is there like federal regulations to Last Supper? Like this dollar amount you can only get, or is it state by state? or do they not do it anymore?
I don't know. I don't think it'd be a legal thing. I don't think.
Well, you have to
that's-
have allocation of funds, especially if
Yeah.
someone's throwing a bunch of, 74,000 Laffy Taffies put together.
I think they'd push back on it because get this, you're in prison and they get to tell you what to do.
Well, that's what I wondered. That's why I wondered about the rules.
Most states give it a day or two before the execution. So they get one special meal.
Beforehand.
Alcohol and tobacco are not usually included in that, but some states or some circumstances, they...
Yeah, I just want a big old fat bong rip, Chief.
Well, why? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
that's
I
how
would-
I'm getting the meal started.
If I can get like a 30-year-old scotch or something,
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
See, I think that's going to be too. That's going to be too. I think you're going to get pushback on that. It's going to be too expensive. I think you're going to get pushback.
What if you're like an Epstein kind of situation where you have a lot of money?
Ghislaine
and-
Maxwell. That's what.
Yeah, that's a good question. Who is paying? I mean, if it is like being paid for
Neither of them had the death penalty,
By
by the way, but
the-
one of them is dead.
by the family or not the state,
Mm-hmm.
I guess sky's the limit. I guess probably.
Is there a list of famous last meals for
I have seen
You have seen that list.
stuff of it, like in this nature.
I guess we
before.
don't need to look it up.
Yeah,
We can just
so
move on.
Bobby,
I'm looking at God
Bobby,
damn it.
what is your last meal in this scenario where you're getting executed for your multiple homicides? I guess.
I'd like a nice wedge salad. I think that
Nice
would
wedge salad.
be as a-
really,
Hey, can I-
really
I'm-
like
I'm gonna add a caprese.
nice salad.
A caprese for
Are you
me.
gonna add a
Yeah,
caprese?
yeah.
See, when you go around the table and you order, and someone's like, "Oh, you know what? That sounds nice."
I do enjoy salad, but you
I
are
guess.
caprese.
Give me some big fresh mozzarella and tomato and basil. Yeah, fuck
not-
on there. A little balsamic on there.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That sounds delightful.
So I'm starting my meal up with a nice
anytime.
wedge. You
Yeah,
know?
wedge.
A nice wedge with some big hearty homemade croutons and some big thick cuts of bacon and some blue cheese and in a nice. I'll take a blue cheese or a ranch, whatever you got, officer.
Yeah. Blue cheese.
And then
Are you a blue cheese guy? I don't
I am
know.
a blue cheese guy. I like
Okay.
blue cheese, yeah, but I
I
don't.
hate blue cheese.
Yeah. I enjoy it. Give me a good gorgonzola, man? Hit me.
You get out of my house. Not you. You can stay for gorgonzola.
Get out.
Him for not liking blue cheese. Anyway, and then I'm torn because I mean a delicious steak is great.
Like a
Like a
good
really
steak.
nice, good steak is obviously very good.
But you don't fuck with prime rib, right?
I don't mind it. I don't seek it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But every time I've had it, I can't say every time I've had it. I've enjoyed it at
Yes.
times when I've
Yeah.
had it. Sure.
Yeah.
But no, I probably would go like a filet mignon.
Fillet. It's,
You know.
it's like butter.
Yeah. So that probably would be
Yeah.
it.
Some
Maybe.
kind of high marbled fat.
Yeah. And then well, if I'm
What
not
else?
caring about carbs,
We're throwing carbs
we're
out the
throwing
window.
carbs out the window.
Pizza Hut breadsticks. Let's go.
Stuffed crust.
Twice baked potato. I
Two
mean,
bake.
two bake, old double baked potato. Be pretty good. I like you have not thought about this a ton.
Yeah.
Would you want to try something you've never had before?
A
Possibly.
little bit. Yeah. I might.
I was kind of just thinking about that. Yeah.
I've had it before and I enjoyed it. I might throw some like grilled octopus or like fresh calamari on there, like the little surf and turf.
Yeah.
To go with my steak. That
Yeah.
might be good. I love your idea. Again, carbs out the window of a pasta on the side.
Oh, yeah.
Just really carb
Do
load.
love some good Italian food.
I don't think you
mean,
want to carb low before you get executed, but
I don't know.
Who cares?
Who cares, right? So I don't know. Maybe a pasta in a white sauce, or maybe a nice good old fashioned spaghetti and meatball.
what kind of pasta are you talking about?
If
Gun to your head,
Egg noodles for sure.
needle in your arm.
oh, Cole just got me right there. Not egg noodles, but I'm throwing a curveball here. I'm
Yeah.
going pad thai.
Pad thai. Pad
Pad
thai's
thai on
pretty
the
good.
side. Pad thai on the side. That's what
You
I'm
could,
doing.
you could totally do ramen and not worry
Not
because you're going to
care.
explode anyways. So.
Exactly. Might actually put on a show. So
I'm a bow tie man myself.
you're a
but-
bow tie guy.
Yeah. Yeah, bow tie. would do-
Classy, the classiest of the
It's so,
pastas.
it's so classy. You have no idea.
Okay, so
Dessert.
now desserts where okay.
Are you getting off the sugar train there,
I'm
Bob?
getting off the sugar train. I'm crashing that sugar train. Here's what I'm doing because I have thought about this one. This one is
You've thought about the
when you guys were talking about it. I was only thinking about this. That's what I would do. It was a full like carton, whatever the hell you call them, a full thing of Oreos, not a full sleeve.
Not a sleeve. You're going a full package.
Fucking package of Oreos. All right.
Yeah.
I want a gallon of milk, and I want a box of. You can choose between. I'll do dealer's choice. Life Cinnamon Golden Grams, probably would be my top 2. I know people love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm not going to fight that fight.
Yeah, we fought that fight.
We
and
fought
you've
it.
lost.
It's fine.
Lucky Charms?
No. I'm going to go for
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch could be acceptable.
Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles, no.
You ever fuck with Cocoa Pebbles?
I have had Cocoa Pebbles, but
Yeah.
It's not a very good
For-
cereal.
oh, what are you talking about? Cocoa Pebbles is fantastic. Fruity
here-
Pebbles?
And here's my secret weapon. Okay, not to get out of prison. I'm staying in prison, but
I'm going to shit myself right out.
jar of peanut butter. Jar of peanut butter to put at the bottom of said cereal.
So your fun little tasty treat.
You want to hear some?
I do.
Yes.
Yes. I
So,
do want to hear famous
John
last
Wayne
meals.
Gacy,
Okay. Heard of him.
12 fried shrimp, a bucket of original recipe KFC French fries, and a pound of strawberries. Apparently, Gacy managed 3 different KFCs over the course of his life.
Oh,
He
little touch at
brings-
home.
He brings in interesting fast food because that could be a good appetizer. I don't know if you can give me like a Whopper real quick.
Whopper's good.
Whoppers are good.
Like Whopper's good.
Anyway,
Anyhow,
Timothy McVeigh,
Tim
Oklahoma.
McVeigh.
heard of him.
Yeah. Oklahoma
Just
City.
a pint of mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Wow.
He was a simple man.
MK Ultra.
I caught you a delicious bass.
Not applicable whatsoever.
Okay.
I don't know who this guy is, but
Okay.
I find this one to be interesting.
What's the name?
Steven Anderson.
Okay.
Steve Anderson. I'm
He
sure.
did 2 grilled cheeses, corn, cottage cheese, apple pie, and a scoop of ice cream.
What year was this? Because it's got to be 1955 because that's fucking boring as fuck.
Oh, he had radishes too, if that helps.
Oh my god! This guy sucks.
juicy.
Oh my! Hold on. Corn?
Cottage cheese.
Are we talking like niblets or like on the cob? Because even
No, a can of corn.
can of corn,
No.
cottage cheese, and radishes.
Hold on. What was his name again? Sorry. Well, you guys figured
Because
this out.
clearly this man has severe mental health issues.
Steven Anderson.
Steven Anderson.
Not
Okay.
Anthony Anderson. Steven
I
Anderson.
do like a good grilled cheese.
I also I haven't had a really good tomato soup in a long time.
Well, whose fault's that?
Well, no, I just like all the tomato soup I've had like for a long time. It's not meeting my needs.
Like,
With
here's one
my-
that makes sense to me. Ronnie Lee Gardner did apple pie, ice cream, steak, lobster, and got to watch Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Yeah, now that's a night. The lobster, I can take or leave. I feel like
Hey, how you spelling Steven Anderson? Is it spelled differently?
was it with a PH?
PH, yeah.
Is it PH? All right.
But yeah, like he watched all 3. Like, so he got, a good
9 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, what a. Now the whole. Yeah, I'm not. For me, lobster. Lobster's not. The juice is not worth the squeeze necessarily. But
That's just because you're lazy.
That's what Steven Anderson looks like.
he was a contract killer who was executed in California. What was his crimes? Anderson committed his first violent crime in 1997. I don't care. Like, what did he do?
It was 1980. May 26, 1980. That's my birthday. 5 years before.
Happy birthday, Bobby.
Then 26, he burglarized a Bloomington, California house of an 81-year-old Elizabeth Lehman, a retired piano teacher. Back then, you could be a piano teacher. Okay? Thanks,
Yeah.
Joe Biden. All right. In the middle of the night, Anderson cut Lehman's phone. All right. We don't care about that.
Yeah, we don't need this.
It
is
didn't
not
turn out well.
Okay, so he was a contract killer. Killed 6 other
Oh, he
people.
prepared a meal in her kitchen, in Lehman's kitchen. A suspicious next door neighbor called the sheriff's department as he was eating and watching television. Sheriff deputies responded to the call and arrested him. Was he making pork chops? That's the question. He admitted to the murder. Sorry, reading's hard. Anderson later told detectives that I was born and trained to be a killer. I always wanted to be a killer. Huh.
So, but he also really enjoyed the Lord of the Rings.
No, this is a different guy.
Oh, this is a different guy?
This is a different guy.
Oh, no, this is the guy who had corn?
Yeah, this is the crazy
Yeah,
guy who had
this
corn.
guy, yeah, he's clearly insane.
Cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese,
Mm-hmm.
corn, radishes. Yeah, go to the Wikipedia page. Look at this guy's picture and say, yeah, that guy likes apple pie, corn, and
This guy
cottage
likes
cheese.
canned corn for sure.
He's kind of ruined my birthday now. Every day I'm going to think about this Stephen Wayne Anderson dude.
Are you gonna have canned corn every year for your birthday now?
I don't know if I can. I don't know. I don't know which side of history I'd be on. Is it honoring or is
No,
it...
you want to be honoring this guy.
I don't think I want to.
So who was the guy who watched all the Lord of the Rings?
Ronnie Lee Gardner.
Ronnie Lee Gardner. That sounds familiar.
Look up Ronnie Lee Gardner. Is it Ronnie?
He was put to death by a firing squad.
Yeah, dude. All right.
Wow.
This is a recent firing squad.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Those are still. They're still around. I think there's still a couple of states that allow hanging.
I guess he
as
was
well.
watching the Lord of the Rings movies, so we should put
I was gonna say,
those
yeah.
things together.
Yeah, you put context clues there, Robert. Yeah.
I was busy looking up the other crazy guy. All right. What did he do? What horrible thing did this guy do? I tried to escape. Convicted of 2 counts of murder. Gardner was sentenced to life. They don't go nearly as in depth.
He spent nearly 25 years in the court season.
Let's see if we murders. Here we go.
Murders. There we go.
All right, you want to take this one?
During
mister?
the night of October 9th, 1984, Gardner robbed the Cheers Tavern in Salt Lake City, SLC. While under the influence of cocaine, he shot bartender Malin John Osterson in the face, killing him. Osterson's cousin Craig Watson stated that the robbery gained less than $100. Family members said Gardner attended Osterson's funeral and pretended to be a childhood friend. Dick move. Following a tip, police apprehended Gardner 3 weeks later at the home of his cousin. Gardner said the shooting occurred because Osterman put up a fight, but investigators did not find any evidence to support that claim. Gardner was held in custody on $1.5 million bail. Jesus.
Wow.
His getaway driver, identified as Darcy Percy McCoy, all testified against him. Oh,
So what did he make? He didn't make food in this guy's house? No?
no.
I thought every serial killer did that.
No. I need to learn. Is there more to this? No.
He was taken to the...
I guess he killed someone in prison then.
Oh, I'm done. I don't read a lot about serial killers, but kudos to that guy watching 9 hours of Lord of the Rings while eating lobster.
I'm not going to give him kudos. I mean, yeah. All right.
No, what are you talking about?
Ted Bundy had a traditional hungry man's breakfast.
Sure, dude.
That's insane as well.
Steak and over easy eggs with toast.
Oh,
You had a Hungry Man dinner. Or
yeah,
Hungry
no,
Man breakfast?
oh no,
hash browns,
So, no, I thought we were talking like like a Hungry Man frozen TV dinner. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Sure. I mean, I guess I'm not a breakfast food guy. Everybody knows it, so fine.
That's some weird.
No way. People on death row had some weird things. That's what we want to hear. You want to hear the weird
Henry
stuff?
Hargreaves got multicolored pancakes.
Well, that's a fun treat.
This is the work of a lunatic.
I could just, it's, all of them apply now.
Anything else good?
Multicolored pancakes.
No, it's a fun treat. You should do it
Yeah,
sometime.
just a couple food colorings.
Really boring ones.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
those
they're
are the
about to
ones.
die.
Those are the ones that like I find concerning because
Ronnie Treadgill had like really crappy looking fried chicken with like a can of mixed vegetables and
Did he ask for crappy fried
the
chicken?
shittiest looking pile of mashed potatoes I've ever seen.
is this coming from the state though? That's my question.
Yeah.
Probably.
If that's state prison food, he's not getting a lot of choice. They're not bringing in lobster
Right.
for fucking
Because prison food is notorious.
This was Texas.
awesome.
This was Texas. So
Tejas. Oh, what?
they don't do last meals anymore in Texas.
No more last meals in Texas.
They don't.
Did you read that book? No more last meals in Texas.
Oh, no, it's called The Last Meal in Texas.
Oh, it's the last meal in Texas.
No, it's just The Last Meal in Texas.
Yeah, that's weird.
I thought that's what Sean Penn's prison movie was all about.
No,
Dead Man Walking.
Dead Man Walking was not just about his last meal. It was about like all the events that led up to his execution. And
You sure about that?
yeah, I watched the movie.
Did you read the book?
Didn't read the book. I watched a lecture of the lady who the book's based off of, played by Susan Sarandon. She came through campus for a lecture.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the most popular is like pie is chosen a lot for some reason. And then fried chicken and chicken fried steak are the two most popular.
Now, my question is, I'd like to know the correlation of people being executed and asking for fried chicken. Just as a
If you
joke.
could do that quick.
I mean, I want to know how many people get executed and what it has to do with the South. Like how many of them are in southern states.
If you're just you're in New Orleans, so I would like some jambalaya. Please.
Can I have more jambalaya? No, it's I'd like to see that map, I guess. Yeah.
There's not a lot of people ordering lobster rolls. You know?
I want to say death row is more.
South. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Texas, for sure.
Well, they don't do it
Louisiana. No, they don't do last meals.
Yeah.
But we're talking about just like,
The death sentence and
yeah,
like
yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
state by state.
Where was this dude? Because this dude
He was in California.
was it?
Or
no,
that
he
was
in
the
Utah.
last one. This
This
guy
is
was
Utah.
Utah.
Firing,
the other guy was-
firing range. Remember? That
And
seems very Utah to me.
Hey, if you're in Utah, don't kill anybody and then
Right.
kill more people and they get caught
Yeah.
because you get shot to death by a firing squad. That's a thing.
Well, I think you can choose.
Oh, so he chose it.
Yeah. I want to say like from what I'm trying to glean from my memory, I had an entire Popular Mechanics magazine that was like centered around the death penalty and capital punishment, and went through like all the places where like you could be hung, and how there's like a specific like formula for how long your rope should be to be hung. And from the sounds of it, I'd much rather be hung than a lot of other things. I'd think I'd take a firing squad more than as
Maybe
well.
he was trying to save taxpayer dollars. I don't know.
Well, I mean, literally,
Oh, bullets cost a lot more than rope.
but there's only there's 4 guys, and 3 of them have like blanks, or 2 of them have blanks, or
Those
something like
blanks
that.
still cost money, man.
And so nobody really knows who actually killed him. So there's that, and
Well, they know
also
it's one of them.
also like when you get shot like in the heart, like it like pushes blood out and knocks you out pretty quick as well. You'll see that a lot in hunting. And at the end of the day,
This could be a podcast. Well, Nathan, I don't know about you, but that episode was wonderful. And I think the only thing people doing listening, if they got any kind of value from it, it would be to let us know via subscription, via pounding that like button, or
Yeah.
sending us some donations or any kind of thing like that. That'd be fantastic.
that'd be great. Also, what's really important is tell your friends.
Oh.
Sit down, shout it in their face that they need to watch this. Do it
Or
in
listen.
the most overbearing manner that you can, because
Right.
that's the way people respond best.
Thank you.